the end of the day, the people of Illinois deserve permanent tax relief, not something that expires after the election's over with. And with that, I'm done. Thank you.
For weeks, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have been looking for ways to help taxpayers deal with rising costs across the board. But for Republicans in the minority in Springfield, the final budget deal doesn't go far enough to actually help Illinoisans who are struggling to get by. My next guest has been a top negotiator for the Republican caucus in the House. Deputy Republican leader, State Representative Tom Demmer joins me this morning with his view of the spring session. Representative, good to see you again. Thanks for joining me.
Happy to be here, Paul.
So Republicans have called that $1.8 billion tax relief fund process an election year gimmick. But, you know, Republicans like to see money back in people's pockets. So I'm sort of curious. I mean, many taxpayers are literally going to get a check in the mail. Is that not a good thing?
Look, I think it's good that we're delivering some tax relief for Illinois families. For many years, Democrats in Illinois have ignored the fact that Illinois has some of the highest taxes in the country, and that puts a burden on Illinois families. But, you know, we were a little concerned with some of these measures that seem coincidentally to be timed around an election that's coming up. You know, the checks that are going out while early voting is going to be happening, delays in certain taxes till just after the election. The timing is certainly suspect in this case.
Well, but when it comes to the tax breaks, the kind of thing I was talking about, just to be fair, Republicans did vote for them, right? I mean, they are things you guys believe in.
Yeah, they are, and this is the way to deliver some kind of tax relief. And so, you know, I don't think it's the goes far enough. I think we should continue to be concerned with the burden that taxes have on Illinois families. But it was something we could do, and hopefully, it's a tax relief message that we can continue to build upon in future years.
So, inflation is something that people are dealing with on a national level, on a state level. What else could and should have been done by the legislature this session to address the inflation issues? Is there much they could have done?
Well, you know, the inflation factor is at play across the entire country, and I think it's going to be a difficult thing for policymakers to wrestle with. But, you know, we want to deliver real relief to families. But we also want to make sure that, you know, as we turn into maybe what will be a recession, maybe there'll be an economic downturn, that Illinois is better positioned to weather that. One of the critical issues that still remains unresolved right now is debt that we have in our unemployment insurance trust fund. If we don't address that, and we had a proposal to use some of our federal COVID relief dollars to pay that debt off entirely. Democrats didn't do that. They left almost $2 billion in debt. The reason that matters during an economic downturn is it results in a tax increase on every job in Illinois and a benefit cut for every worker in Illinois. Those are both things that would spell a terrible economic message if we were to see even a slight downturn in the economy.
So there's the inflation piece, but Republicans have for quite a while now been talking about crime as something that was very clear Republicans want to focus on in this election term and using it as an election issue. So Democrats, of course, knowing that, and they were accused of defunding the police, wanting to defund the police, but they put $200 million into public safety initiatives, including money to recruit and retain law enforcement officers, new cameras, child care funding for first responders at night, $240 million for violence prevention programs. Is it fair to say Democrats aren't addressing the crime problem?
I think they're not addressing the crime problem, or not necessarily in a way that's going to be effective. You know, much of the attention that we have on Illinois law enforcement community stems from action that Democrats took a year and a half ago when they passed what they call the SAFE-T Act. That has led to a record level of retirements and resignations from police officers, from sheriffs and deputies all across the state of Illinois, and serious concern from victims advocates who are looking ahead to say, gosh, we're going to have this situation very soon in Illinois where even among the small number of crimes that are investigated and solved and attempted to be prosecuted, these folks, we're going to end cash bail. These folks are going to be back out on the street, you know, only hours after committing their crimes. And these are the kinds of things that create a culture where people don't feel like there's support for law enforcement, and they don't feel like there's public safety. And those are issues that were caused by the Democrats in Illinois.
Well, actually, I want to follow up on that because I know Republicans have wanted to repeal the SAFE-T Act. You want harsher sentences on carjackers, bypassing the Cook County State's attorney for certain actions. Was there any negotiation on these kinds of terms, or were they just all flat out rejected in the negotiation process?
I think we've attempted to bring these up in negotiations even before the Safety Act was put in place. And I know law enforcement groups have been trying to push for, significant changes to this or repeal of this for a long time. Right now, though, Democrats in control have just not been interested in undoing some of the problems and errors that they themselves did just a short time ago.
Well, by the way, Eric Kim with Fitch has said the budget actually is going to put the state back on a track to more positive credit measures, build fiscal resilience, reduce long-term liabilities. It sounds like they have more hope and maybe increased credit ratings for the state. Do you acknowledge that?
Well, we've benefited from a tremendous amount of federal COVID relief dollars that have come to the state that have helped take care of a significant number of the debts that we carried. There are still some, as I pointed out before, but, the federal dollars certainly helped with that. One of the concerns I pointed out during the debate was if you take away some of these one-time revenues, if you take away some of these one-time spending proposals, and you just look at the state's normal operations, we're growing spending by about 10% from last year to the next year. Meanwhile, our revenues are declining. That's the kind of structural change that is going to put Illinois at the edge of a cliff if we start to see any kind of economic downturn. So I think that's something to really be concerned about, even if in the short term, we have been able to use the huge amount of federal COVID relief dollars to take care of some of the lowest hanging problems.
All right, Representative and Leader Tom Demmer, thanks for your time with me this morning. Enjoy the campaign trail that you're about to explore for the next period of time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Paul.
All right. Coming up next on WGN-TV Political Report, we're going to turn to City Hall.
Overwhelmingly, the city of Chicago has made a decision on her tenure, and they are definitely looking for someone new.
An outspoken critic turns to the campaign trail why Alderman Ray Lopez is running for the city's top job. Who else might jump into the race this week, and how's the mayor responding? We'll be right back.